Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. How are you guys today? Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is LJ Young, and I am a conscious, 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where the majority, 85% of Americans live. They live there because they believe in financing everything, things that go down in value, cars, clothes, washer, dryers, furniture, you name it, right? But the difference is that they don't know they live there. People in debt matrix don't know they live there. They believe it's normal to finance cars. They believe it's okay to keep student loans your entire life. I mean, they talk amongst themselves, saying things like calling student loans forever loans, having multiple credit cards with multiple balances. They're excited about getting their income tax checks. Hey, what's up, DTN? Good morning. What else? You name it. People in the debt matrix just believe it to be true. And then they can't figure out why they are living paycheck to paycheck, right? And that was me for the first 40 years of my life. What's up, Mark? Welcome. That was me for the first 40 years of my life. And I didn't know I lived there. Had not a clue. I was making six figures, still living paycheck to paycheck. What's up, NC Briggs? He said I needed this. Trust me, it's a need every day. I can tell. Hey, Mark, check it out. NC Briggs is he's got the beginning stages of the debt-free bug. He was like you in the beginning. There's no stopping Mark right now, NC Briggs. There's no return, right? Right now, NC Briggs, you're just experiencing, when you go to work, you go around town, you can just hear people speaking debt, and you got to realize that they don't know they're speaking that. And I can tell by the way we talk inside of the Discord server that it's amazing to you what you're hearing, right? It's just amazing, but you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. And I say this to both you, Mark and NC Briggs, if you accept that what you now know is another language, no different than if you spoke Spanish or French or Russian, it's the same thing. It doesn't seem like it because you're speaking English and you're using mathematics, because mathematics is universal. It's worldwide. It doesn't care. Math doesn't care what part of the world you live in. Math is math. Math will always be math, and math is timeless. Okay. But today's topic, 3 million Americans are still, senior citizens are stuck with student loan debt. I put the link to the full article in the description. So what I want people to see with this article is this, young people and people not there at close to retirement age right now, they look at that as like when you sign up, when you get a new job and you sign up for the retirement package or whatever, right? And I remember this being young. I'm like, oh, that's so far away. I got plenty of time. I don't have to worry about saving for retirement, blah, blah, blah. And I put it to the back of my brain. But now, as you can see, these retirees that are close to retirement, whatever, they still got student loan debt, is because they did the same thing their whole entire life. When you're young, like I'm 50 now, right? When you're young in your 20s, you believe 50 is old, but no, it's not old. You're just young. You only been on earth 20 years, 30 years. I've been on earth for 50 years. So that means I know something I mean, biologically know something that you don't know if you're in debt. I'm just saying this to the young people. I know something that you don't know, and it's not a secret. I just trust mathematics. The majority of people in debt don't trust mathematics. That's why the majority of these seniors are in student loan debt all the way up to retirement age, right? That doesn't make any mathematical sense. But yet here they are now 60, 65 talking about, oh my goodness, what about Social Security? Like when I hear people talk about Social Security, what they're really saying is that they plan on relying on it. I've never, even though I was in a debt matrix, I never once thought to myself, hey, when I get old, I'm going to rely on Social Security. I've never once thought that in my brain. I didn't know how I was not going to be able to do it or become rich or well off. I didn't know at that time, but I knew for a fact in my mind that I wasn't going to be depending on Social Security. To me, that makes no sense to me, right? The younger you are, especially if in your 30s, because when you get to late 20s, early 30s, you think when you get in your 30s, you're old. No, man. If you my late 20s is when a light bulb started coming on in my head, right? I knew something had to change, but at that time in my life, I thought the thing that was going to change my life for the better was to get a better job, keep getting raises, and then somehow magically all my finance troubles are going to go away. And it's just the craziest thought when I think about it today. Nope, all I had to do was be financially free. That's it. Just pay off all my debt. It's so simple. It's really no science to becoming a millionaire. It really isn't. Once you get out of the debt matrix, I swear to you, I swear to God, you're gonna know exactly how to become a millionaire. Exactly, you're gonna know exactly what to do, because when you're in a debt matrix, you don't realize how many different factors in the whole economy that help you do this. But again, you have to get out of debt matrix to see it. You cannot. It is completely the second economy, the visible economy. Is completely invisible to you when you're in debt. It's mathematically impossible for you to see it. What's up, Abe? Welcome. Mark says, never giving up on this. Got a brother at work, debt-free, speaking that debt-free talk all day. This was meant to be. Oh, okay. Never giving up. Got a brother. Okay, so you met somebody at work, Mark, that is debt-free, and you guys speak the same language, right? Was he shocked that you spoke the language? I mean, how did that even come about? I'm just curious, because you can't really bring up these topics when you're in debt. I mean, when you're debt free, right? Yep, that's right. NC Briggs, 3 million. 3 million. Now, they're just talking, check it out, NC Briggs. They're just talking about the seniors. They're not talking about the 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds. I want you guys to understand, this is a language. Debt-free is a very powerful language. Very powerful. What's up? I am Brandon. I'm gonna share something with you guys that I just like. My youngest son is 25. Okay. I just talked to him on the phone yesterday. He has $25,000 in student loan debt. Okay. But he has $20,000 saved in the bank. I said, son, you need to go ahead and drop that money and pay off that student loan. You know what he says to me? Oh man, if I do that, I'm gonna be broke. I said, you're already broke. You're negative $5,000 in the hole right now as we speak. He goes, yeah, Dad, I know. I said, but he was trying to, not disrespectfully, but trying to cut me. Oh, this is just my dad harping on debt again. And then I stopped him. I said, hey man, I'm not saying this as your father. I said, pretend I'm math. Math looks like me. Math is saying you are negative $5,000 in the hole. You're broke. You're a slave. You think he heard me? Mm-mm. I raised him. He knows I love him, but still he doesn't listen. That's how powerful this is. Once you get out of the debt matrix, if a person that knows I love them and knows that I want the best for them still doesn't listen to me, imagine you trying to tell this to a stranger. Imagine that. Imagine you're trying to tell this to a stranger. Yeah, my own son. My own son. He's wrapped up in the debt matrix. Sure is. Wrapped up. What's up, Hyphy? And I don't feel bad about it. You know, I was him at 25. I did the same thing. Didn't listen. I mean, nobody told me. I didn't have anybody to tell me, hey, you're in the debt matrix. You should get out. Nobody out of all my 40 years of life. No, I mean, sporadically, I heard you hear the term, hey, if you can't pay cash for it. And these are the people I should have listened to. Okay. The people I should have listened to said, hey, man, if you can't pay cash for it, you can't afford it. I remember hearing that throughout my life. Those are the people I should have listened to. But if you've ever heard this in your life, notice how sporadically that was said to you. Every now and then, it might have been an older parent, maybe a younger person, because it really doesn't matter the age when you wake up, right? Imagine how many times that has been said to you in your life. Maybe 3 times, 4, maybe 5 at the most. Not many. Notice how when they said that to you, you go, oh, you say, oh, I can afford the payment. And then they just don't say anything else. That's why it's pointless to talk to somebody in the debt matrix when they don't speak the language. I keep telling you guys this, every time you speak debt free to a person in debt, you sound like the Charlie Brown teacher voice. They can't hear a word you're saying. And those of you that you guys follow me, right? I want you guys to pay close attention to you know how I post my entire credit report? I'm pretty much the only one on the internet that I've ever seen somebody post their entire credit report. I've never seen that ever. I've never seen that. Have any of you guys seen that? Have any of you guys seen someone post their entire credit report, not their credit scores, scores, plural, but their entire credit report? Never. Never. You know why? Because they're in debt. The majority of people are in debt. But when you get out of debt, there's nothing to show on it. It's blank. It's no reason not to show anybody your entire credit report, because when you're debt free, it's blank. Nothing's on it. So who cares who sees it? It doesn't matter. But the majority of people in debt don't know that. But when you become debt free, this is going to be your financial crap detector. Anybody that look like they have money and you want to know for sure if they're full of crap, look at their personal credit report. It will never lie to you. People in debt don't know they're in debt, so they don't even know what you're looking for. I guarantee you this. If you ask to see their entire credit report, the first thing they're going to respond with is their credit score. And then you have to stop and say, no, I didn't ask to see your credit score. I want to see your entire credit report. They're going to give you a weird look. The reason why they're giving that weird look, because I guarantee you this, nobody has ever asked to see their somebody else's entire credit report. It's not sensitive information. No. You don't even have to see the creditors. You don't have to see anything. You just want to see if there's a bunch of zeros, or if they're so deep in debt, more than their annual income. If they have more debt than their annual income, they're in debt. Doesn't matter what they look like on the outside, right? Mark says, yeah, we were just talking and I started saying how I'm going to get out of debt soon. And then he started saying how he bought a car cash. Okay, that's how it works. Yeah, you're right. Just hints. Mark said cash is the only way. Then I knew, ordinary looking guy too. You know, so crazy, Mark. Just notice how you said ordinary guy looking. And I want to point this out so you can understand why you say that. The majority of us have been conditioned to believe rich, wealthy has a certain look. Just like, you know how the TV portrays a serial killer. A serial killer looks a certain way, you know, and then we just walk around on earth because of all the movies believing a serial killer looks a certain way. That's not true. None of that's true. Rich doesn't have a look. Social media has made you believe that. TV has made you believe that. When you step outside the debt matrix, if the majority of people are in debt and you're rich, why would you want to show 85% of Americans that you have money? Then you're going to be a target. People are going to try to steal from you, scam from you. Why? Don't show them anything. They don't need to know anything. People in debt don't know. They don't need to know anything. Don't even, there's absolutely no reason for that. What's up, Jalen? Mark says, start talking about taxes, recession, and other things that we talk about. See what I'm saying? It just connects. And that's all you had to start out with, just saying something like, hey, yeah, I'm about to pay this debt off, or I'm about to pay cash for a car, because that's debt-free speak. People in debt don't say things like that. They don't say, hey, I'm gonna go pay cash for a car. People in debt believe if they pay for cash for a car, it's gonna be a bucket. They don't realize they're saying that because they have no money. They barely have any money to pay cash for a car. That's why their car is gonna be a bucket. But they don't know that. They believe financing $30,000, $40,000 cars is normal. They don't realize they're financing the taxes too. I didn't know that when I was in the debt matrix, but you can't say anything about that. Mark says, and his credit score is trash because here he only pays cash, right? His credit score is cash because he only pay cash. I might use that as a a saying. It's gonna that saying that would throw people in the debt matrix totally off. My credit score is trash because I only pay cash. They're gonna be like, what? There you go, speaking that different language again, Mark. There you go. NC, are you paying attention? This is gonna be you. You see how Mark's talking? That's how you're gonna talk too. And you're only gonna be able to talk to people here in the SMD family and people like Mark and I, because everybody else is going to think you're broke. Cause check it out, NC Briggs. I want you to, when you get to zero, I want you to go to work and try to celebrate with your friends. Say, hey man, check it out. I'm at zero. My net worth is zero. I want you to see this. I want you to see the reaction on their faces when you tell them your net worth is zero. They're going to be like, what do you mean? You have no money? They're not going to understand what you're saying. Okay. And I'm not saying literally go do that because they're not going to understand what you're saying. Abe says, how do you not know you're in debt? That's a good question. I didn't know I was in debt first 40 years of my life, and I was making six figures. I didn't know. It's conditioning. I remember when I was younger too, I remember a few people, sprinkle of people throughout my life saying, hey, be careful of TV. It's programming you and blah, blah, blah. It's true. TV definitely programs you. Think about it this way. I don't really watch regular TV. And then if I happen to be watching regular TV, when commercials come on, I put it on mute. Just think about it this way. There are 20 minutes of commercials in an hour show. The selling to you never stops. It never stops. I didn't realize that when I was in the debt matrix. I didn't realize they were constantly bombarding, selling stuff to me. I didn't know that. Now I have to put it on mute. I can't stand. When you're in a debt matrix, you don't realize you're constantly being sold to. And this is why 3 million Americans over 60 are still in debt, student loan debt. Forget regular debt. Regular debt, you can file bankruptcy and be free. Student loan debt? Oh man, I couldn't even. Hey, you guys, let me tell you something. I'm 50. Had I not woke up at 40, I'd be so afraid if I woke up at 50. I mean, I'd be happy that I woke up, but I'd be really, really nervous. Really nervous because your prime earning years are between like 30, let's say 25 to 45. Those are prime high earning years. You can make a lot of things happen within those years, right? But once you start getting over 45 and you hit about 50, 50 is the main last finish line. If you haven't woke up by 50 and you got like $100,000, check it out. If you're 50 and you wake up and you got $50,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt, ooh. When I hear people say they got a whole bunch of student loan debt, and then they say, "Oh, well, I'm trying to get a house. I just want to go." You know what I want to say to them? You might as well forget about that dream. Forget about it. Yeah. If you got $100,000 in student loan debt and you've been having this since college, since you graduated college, you can forget about a house. Just get that out of your brain. But I can't say that to people. I don't want to do that to people. That'd be hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Jalen says, as you all know, I've been on my journey to paying off my student loans for just over a year now. I kept it quiet till a few weeks ago. Last week, I finally told my parents, and they both started crying. Oh, crying with joy. Okay, let me finish. Crying with joy because I've paid off $30,000 in a year, just have 4,000 left. My dad even went out of his way to send me 1,000 towards it. Wow. That is, hey, Jalen, first of all, thank you for sharing that story in this group. If your parents cry over it, that's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. Now, Jalen, I got a question. Do your parents have student loan debt, or what is their situation? Do they still have it, or are they just happy that maybe they've been carrying it all their lives and they're just happy that you made the decision to pay it off, or what? NC Briggs says, man, it's getting bad already. I can't even talk to people now. I only have hyphen. I only have hyphen and you to talk to on Discord. I told people I wanted a net worth of 0. They said, you don't want that. Oh, God, man. I'm gonna share something with you guys that's gonna happen, especially the men right now. I'm gonna share something with you. When you especially if you're with somebody, with a woman, when you become debt free, you're gonna see how easy it is to become a millionaire, right? And then you're gonna discover something's going to come to you, whatever your passion is. I don't know how to explain this part. Okay. I believe in the universe and all that stuff. So I don't really get too deep into it here, but your ambition is going to go through the roof because you're going to know how easy it is to become a multimillionaire. And you're going to do whatever it takes to get there because you're going to be totally free. But this is the difference. If the woman you're with is not ambitious, it's going to be a very big problem. I'm going to say that again. If you're with a woman, forget becoming debt free, right? Whatever, right? I mean, if you can't get her to become debt free, that's already a big problem. But if you're with somebody that says like she's debt free, but she's not ambitious, it's going to be a very big problem. Because you won't be able to turn the ambitious off. You're going to want, because this financially free life is the most, I can't even explain it. It's like I live in a totally different world. When I walk around, drive around, shop, I feel like I'm Neo walking through the Matrix. I'm still there. I'm still interacting with people. But when I hear them speak debt, I just tune it out because I just know they don't know what they're saying. NC Briggs and Hyphy and I, we always go, if you guys get on, you guys get on a Discord server every now and then, you'll see the reaction and you'll see the responses. You guys really need to get on that Discord server so you guys can understand. I want you guys to see and hear people going through the process right now. Mark, NC Briggs, when they talk about what they're discovering out in the debt matrix, because you guys are experiencing this too, but you guys need to hear it, not just from me. I've been outside the debt matrix, so my stories are going to be very different from those guys. Okay, there's phases, but again, if you're going to become really, really ambitious, and if you get with somebody that's not ambitious, it's going to be a problem, a big problem. NC Brick says, "Man, it's getting bad already." Oh, I already said that, right? Yeah, I already said that one. All right. NC Brick says, I might have one friend coming around to the idea. You'll know if they're coming around or not. You'll know. Just keep dropping hints. Hey, yeah, I'm trying to, man, I can't wait to pay this car off. I'm gonna buy, just say things like, I'm gonna buy my next car cash. Just say things like that. If they say, oh man, you're gonna get a bucket, you just stop right there and say, okay, yeah, he's in the debt matrix. He or she is in the debt matrix. I am Brandon says, is it wise to start my own 529 college savings fund to pay for my graduate school education, law school? No, just save it. Just save it yourself. Just save it yourself. I mean, I'm not even against student loan debt. I'm not. I'm just saying like this. Make sure you go get a degree in something relevant in today's economy that's going to make you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. And then as soon as you graduate and land that good job, you continue to live like a college student until every single penny of that debt is paid off. If you do that financial move alone, there's $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. That's 45 million people. If you pay your student loan off right away, you're automatically catapulted above 45 million people financially. They don't know that. This is what it's like to live outside the debt matrix. There's two economies. Don't do the 529. Now you got to go with you don't want any rules over your money. You got to go by their rules and say like something happens. Say like something happens and you end up not going to school or whatever, right? You can't just say, oh, okay, I decided I'm gonna change my mind and I'm not going to school. They just don't let you just pull the money back out. Not without penalty. That's just my take on it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just speaking mathematics. Still go see a financial advisor on the 529 for yourself. Don't just take my full. I'm just talking mathematics. Okay. What's up, Humble Homestead? Humble Home says, would having a vasectomy be part of staying out of debt matrix? It sure is. Good question, Humble. That's what I did. I did that. I got a vasectomy when I had my third child in 1995. I was married at that particular time, and the woman I was with, thank God, the woman I was married to said to me, Linnell, if I get pregnant again, I'm having a child. I said, okay, cool. Thank you for telling me, because I don't want any more children. I have 3. And so I went and got a vasectomy. My insurance paid for it. Thank God, it was the best move I ever had done in my life. Oh man. I don't know how you came up with that question. You must be in that situation, on that dilemma. Do it, especially if you already have kids. Jalen says, no, they don't, but we live in different states, so I don't see them that often yearly. They used to tell me about paying. Oh, okay. They used to tell me about paying off college as soon as possible after I graduate. They told me this back in high school. Okay. So they know. That's just what I just said to I am Brandon. Nothing's wrong with student loan debt. People make student loan debt sound bad. It's not. Student loans are for the purpose of, of going to college. And that's what it's for. And then when you're done, you pay it back. You can't just walk away and get your degree and just go live your life. No, you got to pay back the money. I don't know why millions of people believe that. They just believe they're going to pay. No, you're a slave now. Slavery is alive and well. How is it in? It's in the form of student loan debt. I know people think slavery has something to do with color, race, where you live. No, it doesn't. Student loan debt doesn't care where you live. If you're white, black, Chinese, once you're out of the debt matrix, you're going to think above that. Because I want you guys to pay close attention to my channel. I want you to notice clearly that you don't see me. I don't mix religion, politics, race, anything on my channel, because it has absolutely nothing to do with that. That's also an illusion. Always think above the illusion. Now, once you have money and you are established and you want to go back and help a cause that you can clearly see that there is a problem in a particular race or whatever, you go and do it if you want to do it. But if you want to be wealthy, you got to think above all illusions. I don't care what anybody thinks. I know that's why I don't hardly get collabs with people, because when I do, people always try to push it towards something. They don't really want to hear that it's just mathematics. They don't want to hear it. I know I have an uphill battle for the profession that has chose me. This profession chose me. I have an uphill battle, but I'm willing to do what it takes because I know I am very rare. I'm so rare, and it's so this is the difference. It's rare, but it's not difficult because it's so easy because I'm only using grade school math. Jalen says, I was raised in a debt-free upbringing. Work for what you want mentally. Oh, that's cool, man. And see, I want you to notice too, Jalen, even though you were raised, same thing with Cosmic Wisdom. Hey, what's up, Cosmic? I didn't see you sneak in here. Cosmic Wisdom was raised the same way. But look at you, Jalen. Even though you was raised debt free, you obviously had the pressure of the debt matrix that changed your brain to say, oh, it's okay to keep student loan debt. See what I'm saying? That's how powerful it is. Again, this is what happened to me when I was talking to my son. Your parents were telling you to do that. Your parents love you. They're not trying to steer you wrong, but you still didn't listen. You know why? The conditioning of the debt matrix. But the conditioning of the debt matrix is a must. Everybody can't be rich. Everybody can't be wealthy. Else the whole economy would crash. There would be nobody left to finance cars, clothes, furniture, shoes, purses. We need slaves. People think, you look at those old school movies, the Romans having slaves building pyramids and temples and coliseums and, whipping them on the back. And we can't do that anymore. We can't physically enslave, but we can mentally enslave people. We mentally enslave them to believing that debt is a way of life. And as long as they believe it, they'll be slaves until they're dead. Hard to hear it that way, huh? But it's true. 3 million Americans over 60 in student loan debt. That seems like evidence enough to me. Hyphy says, yes, everyone needs to get on the Discord server. Some good conversations going on every day. There's the link, you guys. What's up, Jennifer? I didn't see you sneak in here through the back door. Cosmic Wizard says, I'll try my best. Cosmic, oh, she's talking to Jalen. Don't let them pull you in. It's hard at times, but stay strong. And see, Cosmic Wisdom was also raised like you, Jalen. I can only imagine. I mean, I don't know, but the struggles growing up as a child in the debt-free area, fighting against everybody in debt, that must have been really, really tough to be a child or a young adult child, whatever, ignoring the people in the debt matrix, and they're pressuring you to say, hey, everybody finances cars, everybody does this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Millions of senior citizens. And when people look at, I know young people look at old people and just think they're old, right? No, you're just young. Young people think 50's old. No, it's not old. I promise you, it's not. You see my picture right there? In that picture, I'm in San Francisco. I'm about 45 in that picture. Nobody walks up to me and say, oh man, hey, you look good for a 45-year-old. That has never happened. When they ask my age, everybody seems to always ask my age. And when I tell them my age, they're blown through the roof. They're like, oh my God, look at the way you don't look like a 45, 50-year-old. You know why they say that? Because they've been led to believe a 45-year-old, 50-year-old looks a certain way. That's what TV has made them believe. You don't want to be in that statistic. That's when they talk about the senior citizens, like this article, 3 million, they're talking about the average. They're talking about the average. Now, if you're new to my channel, you want to know what is the average? The average, think of the average as this. The average is made up of millions upon millions upon millions of people making the same financial decisions as one. Okay. So If they say the average car loan is $500 a month and your car payment is around $500 a month, you're part of that average. You're part of the Borg. You're part of the debt matrix. If they say the average phone bill is $150 a month and your cell phone bill is around $150 a month, you're part of the average. Abe says mind control. It is mind control. It's a necessary mind control, though, Abe. And I want you guys in the S&D family, I want you guys to understand this. Understand and accept what you now know, what you're learning is a totally different language. There are no books for what I'm showing you and teaching you. There's no books for it. And people ask, hey, Linnell, LJ, when you going to write a book? Only people that understand would even know to look for my book. You think the people in the debt matrix say, hey, oh man, this is an interesting book. Get out the debt matrix. They'll see a book like that and say, what the hell are you talking about, the debt matrix? That doesn't what? This dude think it's a movie. Yeah, I know. Straight up. I mean, I'm not saying that I won't write one day, but I want you guys to understand the journey that you're about to partake in. There is no going back. You don't want to be that part of the 3 million people that's in the debt matrix. When you get out of the debt matrix, you're gonna be able to see into the future. And let me give you an example what I mean by that. Okay. Now that people can just pick up the phone and get their fast food delivered. People don't even have to go to a fast food place anymore. People don't even have to go through a drive-through. You know, that was bad enough that you don't even have to get out of your car to get your fast food. Now people don't even have to leave their house. Obesity is about to go through the roof in the next 10 years, through the roof. And at the same note, people are damn near paying more for the delivery of their fast food than the fast food itself. So obesity and debt is about to go even higher. Now imagine if you go do the opposite with your health, get in shape. The majority of people will believe that is amazing, whatever you're doing, and then they'll pay you for it, not realizing it's just food. They don't know that. And then when they start paying more than the food itself just to get it delivered, you think they're paying cash for that? They're charging that stuff. They're in debt. They don't know they're in debt. This is why you're going to stand out like a shining star. And then on top of that, you don't have student loan debt, credit card debt, car loan debt. Look how free you're going to be. You could get a part-time job making $30,000, $35,000 a year and be free as a freaking bird. People in debt will have no idea how you're doing it. And this is what you tell them. Hey man, I only make $30,000, $35,000 a year, because if you look up the statistic, if you Google poverty amount of money or whatever, it's going to be around $35,000, $37,000. If you're making, according to the statistics, if you're making 35, 37, whatever, you're in poverty. They're only talking to the average person that's making $35,000 a year and up to their eyeballs in debt. They're talking about those people. They're not talking about people making that amount of money who are financially free, debt free. You can live like a king. You ask a person in debt, hey man, do you think you this is funny. And you guys, I know you guys think I'm joking, but I want you guys to go out and test everything I'm saying, okay? You can go up to a person in debt and say, hey, do you think you can live off of $1 million? People in debt will tell you, no way you can do that. They're in debt. They're totally in debt. They can't even live off the money they make right now. They're saying you can't live off $1 million. You know why they're saying that? Because they're in debt. If I had $1 million, I would never work another day in my life. nowhere near a job. No, and it won't even be. And I'm just saying this is, I'm not telling you guys to do this. I'm just saying this personally. I wouldn't even have to invest that money. Would I do that? No, I'm just saying in general. I could put $1 million in the bank and never work again in my life, not even investing in anything. Once you get out of debt, this is what happens when you get out of debt. You will find out how much it really takes to live, and it's hardly anything. It's nothing. You will never ever become 60 years old talking about you're in student loan debt. No way. Mm-mm. You'll never do that. Only people in debt say things like that. They say this stuff out loud. Like when you hear people, what did I hear the other day? When you hear people online or on, camera talking about, hey, they're complaining about Social Security, there's not going to be nothing left for us. Those are people in debt. Because what they're really saying is that, hey, I'm in debt and I need that money. And it's not even hardly anything. And they're worried about it. Why are you worried about it? Make your own retirement. Don't worry about what they're doing. But they don't know that. NC Briggs says, Hyphy is right. When you're fighting the debt matrix, you have to have people that are like you or like LJ, Hyphy, and Cosmic Wisdom. You need like-minded to succeed sometimes. Yeah, you got to understand the language first. I guarantee you, people that jump in this room and start hearing Cosmic Wisdom speak, and they can clearly hear that she knows what she's talking about. But I guarantee you this, if they come to her and start speaking debt, she's going to know right away they don't even understand the language. Why bother wasting your time with the person that don't understand it? It doesn't even make any sense. It's also going to change every aspect of how you thought about relationships. It financially free not only changes your financial life, it changes your whole life. You guys really, a lot of people don't understand this. It changes your entire life. Once you're financially free and you actually feel financial freedom, you will never take anybody serious that doesn't care about being in debt. You won't take them serious. You won't take people that are not ambitious. You get with somebody that believes that they're just going to live off of you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to accept that. Because you're going to know that they're trying to bring you down with them, and you won't allow it no matter what. I promise you, no matter what. One day you're going to get to a point in your life that a light is going to switch. Like if you're with somebody right now, right? And a light came on for you to become financially free. And they clearly are resistant to it. You're going to have a decision to make. Especially if you're married with kids with them, you're going to have a big decision to make. Now, for the guys, and I'm thinking back at myself, right? I'm thinking about myself when I was married. Had I woke up and become financially free, a lot of guys, they don't leave because, oh man, child support's going to kill me. They're going to rape me. They're going to whatever, right? And most men stay in relationships because of that. When you become financially free, child support is really not that much money. It's not. It's not. You won't have to work overtime. You won't have to do any of that stuff. You'll be able to hire excellent lawyers. You're not walking in with a cheap lawyer making payments. You're going to hire a good lawyer so they can't take you. It's no different than when you see, oh, here's a good example. Like when people are on like criminal cases, right? It's clearly in your face that if somebody has money and they have a good lawyer, they rarely get a stiff sentence because they have a good lawyer, right? Same thing. You have a good lawyer in a child custody case or child whatever, right? The same thing is going to happen there. And why will you be able to hire a good lawyer? Because you have no debt. So you'll have money for a lawyer. That's it. It's all the same. It's really right in your face. Your whole life is going to change. It's here I am. Let's say I'm about 5, 6 years out being debt free, right? I'm still discovering things. I still am discovering things. You know, I got some tough decisions to make coming up here, and maybe later down the line I'll talk to you guys about it. But I want you guys to understand the decisions and the sacrifices that that I must do. Nothing trumps my financial freedom. Nothing. And when I say nothing, I'm saying like, if my kids came up to me and say, "Hey, Dad, I need a car really bad. Can you co-sign for a car for me?" Nope. No, I can't. First thing I'm gonna ask, why do you need a co-signer? Let me check out your entire credit report so I can see why you need a co-signer. Hmm. And and another tough thing is when I look at those seniors, right? Oh, this is a better yet. I remember when I was in debt, and I remember one time I was in downtown Seattle in my Lexus, right? And I was when you go downtown Seattle, you see homeless people down there, right? It's getting pretty bad in Seattle, right? I remember driving by a homeless camp in my Lexus, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm just one job loss away from possibly being at that point. I'm one job loss away from being there. I remember saying that to myself in my mind. I didn't say it out loud. I said it in my mind. Even then, I didn't do anything about it because I thought in my mind that I couldn't do anything about it. How am I supposed to change that? I didn't know, Linnell, get out of debt while you have a job. I didn't know that. People, TV will make people believe that people are homeless because they're on drugs. They're criminals. People really believe that. They believe that that is the case. That's not true. That's partly true, but that's not the whole truth. I know you guys that come into the SMD family probably look at my I'm up to about almost 1,300 subscribers, right? I really don't show it because I don't want that to be the main thing. Because when you naturally go to somebody's channel, it's naturally to look at the amount of subscribers, and then there's in your brain you think subscribers tell how good this person must be at what they do. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's actually just the opposite. This is a serious uphill battle, but it's so easy to pick out my topics. All I got to do is just browse the internet and look for things that are not spoken by people in debt. You know, people in debt, they don't really say out loud that they filed Chapter 13 or they got they have so much student loan debt that they don't ever believe they'll pay it off, or they're too scared to look at the amount of student loan debt, et cetera, et cetera. They don't talk that amongst people in the debt matrix. They talk debt to each other, but they don't talk about the source of it. They look at it, they search for it on the internet privately because they believe they are the only ones. They believe they're the only ones. So they keep it quiet. But when all they got to do is just Google, Google total student loan debt, Google credit card debt, Google car loan debt, it's in the trillions. You'll clearly see banks are not evil. It's just business. Of course, there are greedy corruption in everything. Some people see some corrupted official inside of a big bank and say, "See, that's why they're making millions." No, there's corruption in everything. That's not tolerated. When you understand that the wealthy make the rules and the law, I mean, just accept it. The wealthy create the laws and make the rules. That's period. Okay. And if your goal is to become part of the 1%, you can't get there breaking the very rules and laws that the wealthy create. You can't do that. If you take the time to understand how it works, follow the rules, follow the laws, you'll get there. I promise you'll get there. And once you become free, you'll never go back. You'll never be part of that statistic of how many people again? 3 million people over 60 stuck in student loan debt. And I can't even imagine being over 60 with 100,000 plus in student loan debt. I was thinking about this the other day. Let me share this with you guys. I was thinking about doctors, right? How the system gets them. Here they go. Like, imagine a doctor. They go to school maybe 14, 15 years of school, right? Can you imagine they're just ready to get what they want to get to in the position they want to get to as a doctor and just start making some real money. But check it out. Once they graduate school, then they got like 5 years of residency, right? And they pay them nothing. 30,000, 40, 50,000, something just crazy for 5 years. Now imagine if you're out of school and you have $300,000 in student loan debt. Now, by the time you're this age of residency, you probably have a girlfriend, and the girlfriend wants a family and kids and stuff like that. And the man can't really turn to her and say, "Hey, you know what? You're going to have to wait till I'm through with residency. And then after residency, you're going to have to wait till I pay off student loan debt." No. So when they're in residency, guess what they have to do? Guess what they're forced to do? Put their student loans in forbearance because they can't afford to pay them on residency. That's messed up. That is messed up. So now, not only did they collect and was collecting interest through those student loans, now through those 5 years of residency, they're collecting even more interest. And then you're going to try to tell a doctor that has been putting off pleasure for 14 years that he has to wait an additional 3 to 4 to pay off what they're once they become a doctor. Now they have to wait at least 2, 3, I'm going to say 3 to 5 years to pay off their student loan debt in full. That's not going to happen. They're going to start living like a broke doctor. That's all part of the plan, people. It's all part of the plan. Well, you guys are quiet today. Not too much yip yapping today. Not too much talking. Not yip yapping, but just talking in general. Well, if you guys If you guys have anything to say today, let me know. You guys pop in. If you guys, let me put this, if anybody want to jump in and conversate today. Because it's, I don't know, what's today, Thursday? 11:30, maybe it's lunchtime. I'm not sure. But anyway, well, if it's, we're going to cut this short off in an hour then, I guess. You know, nobody's really talking. Nobody's, not saying that you guys have to, but kind of boring when it's just me talking. Well, I enjoy you guys' conversation. Thank you for jumping in. You guys have a happy, happy Thursday. And until next time, see you then.